Welcome to Accreditation Unlocked. I'm Dr. Ken Clough, and today we're going to tackle a deceptively simple question, one that I get asked all the time when I'm working with colleges, nursing programs, and accreditation teams. What exactly is a strategy? It's a fair question, because in higher education, we love plans. We write them, revise them, color code them, but all too often, we use the words strategy, goal, objective, initiative, and task interchangeably. And when the words blur, so does our direction. So in this episode, we'll unpack that confusion. We'll explore what differentiates a true strategy from an operational goal or a daily task. We'll look at how direction and magnitude connect strategy to mission. And finally, we'll end by reframing strategy as story. A story of how your institution chooses its path and commits to walking it. Let's begin where the confusion starts. The language. The nomenclature problem. When words blur, so does direction. If you've ever sat in a strategic planning meeting, you've heard it. Our strategy is to improve enrollment. Our strategy is to hire more faculty. Our strategy is to start a new degree program. They sound reasonable, but none of those are actually strategies. They're objectives or actions that might emerge from a strategy, but they aren't strategies themselves. Part of the problem is nomenclature. Accreditors, consultants, and institutional leaders use overlapping terms. Strategic aims, institutional goals, key results, priorities, and each campus has its own vocabulary. Without shared understanding, teams spend more time wordsmithing than thinking strategically. When this happens, planning devolves into a checklist rather than a compass. We create documents that describe what we will do, but not why we're doing it or where it's taking us. Here's the truth. Strategy isn't about listing every possible good idea. It's about making directional choices and committing to them with intent and scale. That's where two words become essential: direction and magnitude. Direction is the where. It's how your institution aligns its actions to its missions. Magnitude is the how far. It defines the depth of your commitment, how much you're willing to invest in people, time, and resources. Together, they transform strategy from a slogan into a trajectory. Strategy defines where we're heading and how big a push we're making to get there. Defining strategy, the art of choosing direction. So, let's define it clearly. Strategy is a coordinated set of choices about how an institution will use its resources and strengths to move purposefully towards its mission, with a clear sense of direction and magnitude. It's about choosing how you'll compete, differentiate, or excel, not just what you'll do next semester. Let's break this down a little further, because each level of planning serves a different purpose and time frame. At the very top, we start with the mission. That's why we exist. It's enduring. It doesn't change often, and it answers the fundamental question of purpose. For example, our mission is to prepare graduates for professional and personal success. Then comes the vision, what we aspire to become. The vision looks ahead. It's long-term, maybe 10 years or more into the future. Something like, to be a regional leader in applied career-focused education. Next is the strategy. And this is where many institutions get tripped up. Strategy describes the broad approach you'll take to reach that vision. It usually spans 3 to 5 years. For instance, we will differentiate ourselves through hands-on learning and strong employer partnerships. Beneath that, we have objectives. These are the specific statements of what you want to achieve within a shorter window, say 1 to 2 years. An example might be, improve our graduate placement rate to 85%. From there, we move to goals. Goals are the measurable targets that support those objectives, often set on an annual basis. Something like, this year we'll develop 10 new internship partnerships. And finally, we get to tasks or actions, the day-to-day steps that make everything happen. They're short-term and practical. For example, schedule meetings with employer partners this month to discuss internship opportunities. Each level connects to the one above it. The mission gives meaning to the vision. The strategy gives direction to the objectives. The goals give structure to the tasks. And together, they turn intention into action. Notice where strategy sits. It's not in the details of scheduling or budgeting. It's in the choices that guide those details. If your mission is your destination, your strategy is the route you've chosen. Objectives are the mile markers, and the daily tasks are the steps that keep you moving. Lose sight of the route, and you risk wandering off, even if you're working hard every day. A strategy must answer 3 questions. Number 1, where are we trying to go? Number 2, what paths are open to us? Number 3, which path will we choose, and what will we do to get there? Accreditation evaluators notice when those answers are fuzzy. A self-study that lists dozens of unrelated initiatives without showing the logic behind them signals a lack of coherence. A true strategy gives the evidence narrative structure. The direction, magnitude, framework. Strategy with purpose and scale. Let's dig deeper into those 2 anchor concepts. Direction means intentional movement. It reflects alignment between your mission, your data, and your decisions. It says, given who we are and whom we serve, here's where we're heading. Direction is what prevents drift. It stops the institution from chasing every new idea or every grant opportunity that appears shiny in the moment. Magnitude, on the other hand, gives the direction force. It tells you how much the institution is prepared to commit. It's the difference between saying, we'd like to expand online learning someday, and saying, we will grow online education by 30% over 3 years by investing in instructional design, faculty training, and technology infrastructure. That statement defines not only the path, but also the size of the stride. When accreditors read your strategic plan or institutional effectiveness report, they're really looking for evidence of direction and magnitude. Is there a clear line from mission to strategy to outcomes? Do the actions demonstrate commitment proportionate to stated goals? Are you choosing deliberately rather than reactively? A strong plan shows both. It says, here's where we're going, and here's how far we're prepared to go to get there. That clarity gives your institution stability amid leadership changes or external pressures. A well-defined strategy doesn't crumble when a new president arrives. It provides continuity of purpose. Strategy as story. The power of narrative alignment. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something I think we don't discuss enough when it comes to planning. The role of story. Every great strategy tells a story. It describes where the institution began, the challenges it faces, the choices it made, and the future it's building toward. When you think about it, strategy and story have a lot in common. Both require clarity about where you're going. Both depend on why the journey matters. Both must be coherent, authentic, and human. When I help institutions prepare self-studies, I often say, strategy is your institutional narrative. It's the through line that connects mission to evidence. Because your strategic plan, if done well, isn't just a binder on a shelf. It's your story of intention. Imagine 2 versions of a report. In the first, you read, retention increased from 72% to 77%. In the second, you read, We believed every student deserved to feel supported from day one. We listened to student voices, redesigned our first-year experience, and built a stronger advising model. The result? Retention rose from 72% to 77%, and our students tell us they feel more connected than ever. That's a story, a strategic story, anchored in direction and magnitude. It not only explains what changed, but how and why. A great strategic plan works the same way. It tells a coherent narrative that answers 4 simple questions. Number 1, where are we starting? Number 2, where are we going? Number 3, how far are we willing to go? And number 4, what evidence shows that we're getting there? When you can tell your plan as story, people remember it. Faculty, staff, students, and even your board can connect emotionally and intellectually to that direction. And when accreditors read your self-study, they can sense that alignment. They see a campus that doesn't just report metrics. It lives a mission and tells a consistent story of improvement. Here's a quote I often share in workshops. Strategy without story is sterile. Story without strategy is sentimental. The real power comes when you unite the two. How to clarify and communicate strategy, making it real. So, how do you bring this all down from the conceptual to the practical? How do you make strategy real and understandable across your institution? Let's start with communication. A strategy that only lives in the president's office isn't a strategy. It's a secret. For a strategy to matter, everyone must understand how their work connects to it. That means every meeting, project, and proposal should tie back to a strategic priority. Every budget request should answer, what strategy does this support? Every assessment result should inform whether your strategy is working. When I visit campuses, I often ask employees, can you tell me your institution's strategic priorities? If I get 5 different answers, I know communication is the problem, not commitment. Here are some practical ways to strengthen clarity and connection. Simplify your plan. If your strategy can't fit on one page, it's probably too complicated. Think in 3 to 5 priorities, not 15. Use visual summaries. Strategy maps, dashboards, and infographics translate abstract language into something people can see and share. Reinforce alignment and conversation. Begin meetings with a quick reminder. This discussion supports strategic priority number 2, academic quality. Repetition creates culture. Tell stories of success. Celebrate when teams demonstrate strategic alignment, when their project directly advances mission-driven outcomes. Keep strategy alive. A plan written once and filed away is a snapshot. A strategy reviewed regularly and discussed openly is a living process. It's not enough to write the strategy. You have to teach it, live it, and narrate it. When you do that, people stop seeing planning as paperwork and start seeing it as purpose. From confusion to clarity, 5 signs you've got a real strategy. By now, you might be thinking, all right, so how do I know if my institution actually has a strategy? Here are 5 signs that you do. Number 1, it defines direction. Everyone understands where the institution is heading and why that path was chosen. It's about focus, not fads. Number 2, it defines magnitude. The plan doesn't just name goals. It shows commitment through resources, timelines, and leadership attention. Number 3, it aligns with mission and vision. You can trace every initiative back to the institution's purpose and future aspirations. Number 4, it guides decisions and resources. When budgets, staffing, or priorities shift, leaders ask, Does this support our strategy? Number 5, it can be told as a story. Not just by the president, but by the faculty, staff, and students who see themselves in it. If you can check off those 5 boxes, you're doing more than meeting an accreditation standard. You're building a shared understanding of institutional direction. That's when strategy stops being an abstract requirement and becomes the foundation of culture. Strategy as compass and chronicle. Let's bring it all home. A strategy, at its heart, is both a compass and a chronicle. It's a compass because it gives direction. It orients every decision towards mission. It's a chronicle because it records your progress. It captures a story of how your institution grows, adapts, and improves over time. A good strategy helps people make decisions with clarity and confidence. A great strategy inspires them to move together in the same direction, towards something larger than themselves. Remember this: strategy is not a list of goals. It's a statement of direction and the magnitude of your commitment to follow it. That's what separates busy institutions from focused ones, and compliant institutions from truly effective ones. Change is hard, but sustaining change is harder. What sustains it is story, the shared belief that what we're doing matters, that our choices are connected to purpose, and that our collective journey is worth taking together. Thank you for listening to Accreditation Unlocked. I'm Dr. Ken Clough. If this episode helped clarify what strategy really means, or if it sparked a question about your own institution's direction, I'd love to hear from you. You can learn more about strategic planning, self-study preparation, and continuous improvement workshops at accreditationcollaborative.com. If you haven't already, be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen to stay up to date with new episodes on planning, leadership, and accreditation success. Until next time, remember, your strategy isn't just your plan. It's your institution's story. Tell it well, live it fully, and let it guide you forward.